Hello, my name is Jimmy Brooks with the Southwest Florida Water Management District. We're here at the Flying Eagle Ranch, and I have some guests I'd like to introduce to you today. First, I have Mr. Sam Lyons with the Withlacoochee River Basin Board. I have Commissioner Josh Wooten with Citrus County County Commission, and I have Mark Edwards, Director of Aquatic Services. We're here at the Flying Eagle Ranch today to talk to you about a project. The Flying Eagle Ranch was purchased by the Water Management District to help protect and enhance our viable resources here in Citrus County. I'd like to introduce to you Sam Lyons. Sam would like to talk to you a little bit about a joint effort we have with Citrus County and a program that the Basin Board has called the Cooperative Funding Program.
Okay. The Withlacoochee River Basin Board has a cooperative funding program, as all the basin boards do in the Southwest Water Management District. We have about $1 million a year available, and this is spread out in 6 counties. Recently, Citrus County Aquatics Division came before our Basin Board and requested consideration for funding, matching funding, for the conveyance canal at Moccasin, Slough. And initially the request was to just to open up the area where the Moccasin Slough conveyance structure was. However, the long-term plan was to open the water trails on both sides of the structure. And it made sense to me and the other board members that we ought to go ahead and provide additional funding and do the job all at one time. One of our considerations on our particular basin board is that we try to efficiently use tax dollars as much as we can. Ultimately, the entire length of that conveyance canal and recreational canal area would have been open, so we decided that we ought to go ahead and address this issue all at the same time.
What I'd like to do now is introduce to you Mark Edwards. Mark is Director of Citrus County Aquatics, and Mark will give you an overview of some of the specifics of the project that we are cooperating with the county on. Mark?
Yes. Hello. This project actually got started early on. We've working with the advisory board and with the Board of County Commissioners and in charge of water-related issues. We looked at some of the areas, and one of the biggest concerns is always to get ingress and egress of water into the system. And we looked at this area. We did a helicopter tour, was able to see the dense vegetation that had closed off some of the area on the north side of the Moccasin Slough structure. We're standing a little bit south of there now. So we, by doing some field exercises and doing some boat trips, we decided it was a good project. This project basically is going to open up dense vegetation, allow more of a natural flow of water into the system, as well as serve as a recreational purpose as well. So it was a good project. It was one of, I think, 5 that we offered. We're excited about this project approval, and we would like to get started on this, and it's got approved for this fiscal year. This trail is going to be approximately 31,000 feet long and go from the East Cove area, runs in a general north to south direction back to the Apopka Isles Bridge. Commissioner, would you like to add anything else to this project? Or?
Well, Mark's exactly right. We did a flyover about a year ago.
That's correct. Somewhere
around a year ago, we did a flyover, and you could see where this conveyance canal was in dire need of help. And Mark and I discussed it, and the Lakes Advisory Board signed off on it and put it down as one of their goals. And then the Water Management District got involved, and Sam was very instrumental in getting it funded. So this is one of those things where your government did everything right. We identified a need, we went through the proper channels, and now this is becoming a reality to help us restore the health of this lake system. And I think at this point we'd probably like to go on in and show you around. Right here. Okay. And here's looking north into the Inverness and Hernando pools. And then back this way is obviously south, looking into the Coral City pools.
And I have to tell you, about a year ago I was out here with several concerned citizens in this area when the water was much lower. And Mark is correct in that this is one of the points where we can get water from one pool to the other. And of course, with the Basin Board, that is one of our concerns, the health of the system. The Moccasin Slough and the golf course bridge cuts are really the only way we can feed the Inverness pool from the Floral City pool. When I was out here a year ago, it was just really choked, and we want to be able to move that water from pool to pool as best we can, and certainly this is a major effort in doing so.
Let me just talk a little bit about the specifics and what people can expect to see and when the project will actually get started. There's a couple things going on right now. Right now we're in the process of securing the contract with the Basin Board, or excuse me, with the district and with the county. At the same time, we've also went ahead and applied for a permit application for the aquatic removal, and that is in FDEP, Florida Department of Environmental Protection's review right now. This project again will be a approximately 31,000 foot long trail. We're looking at only doing it about 25 feet wide to serve both its recreation and water conveyance. As soon as we get the permit in hand and the contract secured, the next step would be to go out and flag. Again, let me just mention, on the north side of this structure is where most of the impediments are. There's about a quarter mile of dense vegetation. We'll need to, by reviewing digital ortho photography, stake out or flag out where we're wanting to go through the dense vegetation and cut that area. So we'll flag that out first after we all are comfortable that this is where the trail is going to go. The next step would be go ahead and get a contractor, which we do have a contractor and a contract for the Inverness pool, to come in with a specialized aquatic machinery called a cookie cutter. It's got 4-foot blades on it. It's actually is able to spin those blades and mince up or chew up the vegetation, and then behind him would follow with a mechanical harvester. We're going to start on the north side first, and starting at probably the East Cove area, and then moving south to the Moccasin Slough. Once that project is basically complete, harvested material picked up, we'll then start on the south side, starting down at the Leslie Hefner Canal and working north from there. So that's kind of how the project we anticipate it going. This is good timing. That's why we went to the district and asked that this funding be available or come to us as soon as we could, because we now have high water. After many years of drought, it makes a good opportunity to get the machinery in and getting the work done. And there may be some hand removal too that has to occur based on vegetation size. These specialized machines can cut anything in diameter of 4 inches or smaller, but there may be some hand removal that has to take place. But that's pretty much an overview of the project.
Mark, one question I have is, as far as the project is timing, how long would you anticipate before we have the actual completion of the whole project?
We're looking at, we hope that it's done before October of this year. We anticipate the permit going through the process rather quickly. We anticipate that the contract being signed both by the county commissioners as well as the district, and then from there it's just a matter of going out, and during this time we'll go ahead and identify the trail location, and then from there the cookie cutter could actually start. So the majority of the work is on the north side. South side we anticipate going rather fast, but sometime before October we hope to have completion.
Now, looking at this area from air, which Mark and I have had the opportunity to do, you can really see on the northern end this choked out area. It's years and years of trees that have fallen in, that have grown up and choked off this canal. And I can't stress enough that a year ago we identified this. The Lakes Advisory Board signed off on it. It went through the process, and all these gentlemen here today helped to make this a reality. And in 3 weeks we should have a permit in hand and all of our agreements, and actually be cleaning this conveyance canal. And I think that these guys here deserve a pat on the back. Sam for his role in getting it funded, and Jimmy for his role at the Water Management District, and Mark, I believe, was really the one that brought this to my attention originally, and he's got everybody to buy into this process. And this is a major step in enhancing this lake. In addition to this, most people are aware that we have the Corps of Engineers study going on, and they're going to be looking at all types of these conveyance canals throughout this study. And they're well into that study now, and we look forward to a good working relationship with all involved, the Corps, the Basin Board, the Water Management District, and I think the citizens are going to see that we're going to put a greater emphasis on this pristine Lake Apopka chain.
One other comment, as Josh said, about a year ago, it was recognized what a serious problem we had here. And the fact that we have moved this quickly says a lot for the efforts. Government generally drags its feet on everything, and actually in about a year's time we recognize the problem and have addressed it. And of course that's what the Basin Board is all about. We have funding money available for restoration projects like this. It's a matter of the county stepping forward in a cooperative partnership to fulfill this restoration endeavor.
Sam is exactly right, and it's very important that we partner, and the Board of County Commissioners is committed to that. This year we're putting $250,000 into a special fund so that we can partner when things like this come up, and so that we will have some money banked as the Corps of Engineers identifies some things down the road that we can do. And government does move slow, as Sam said, but there's kind of a new philosophy here amongst us that as we identify things like this, as we go along, there are some things that we can be doing now. These studies are very important so that we have the science into how to restore this lake chain, but people are tired of hearing about studies, and when we can identify something like this and all agree on it, it's nice to come out here and do this. And this is not only for the health of the lake, but it's for the recreational aspects as well. And Sam and I also serve on the Tourist Development Council, and this is part of who we are in Citrus County.
Absolutely. The tourism draw will be increased as a result of this. So the benefits are, there are many benefits aside from just restoration and water supply and ingress and egress. Recreationally, it opens the path for boating, and also it will enhance fishing also. And I have to credit the County Commission and Commissioner Wooten and the Lake Advisory Board, because it was a result of their efforts and coming before and our Basin Board and talking with me that we have provided this funding. And we have the dollars there, but two things have to happen. One, you have to ask for the dollars, and number two, you have to be willing to come up with 50%. And this is what's happening, and I've been on the board since 1999, and I'm seeing it more and more. And this is how we will get things done, by this cooperative effort.
And I always look at this Lake Apopka chain as our God-given water storage system. So we want to get as much water in here as we can and hold on to it as long as we can. And as Sam was saying about identifying these needs, well, I've got to give Mark credit for that as well, because he is our staff person that goes and tries to justify these things after we think of them. And I'm very proud of it, and I think it would be helpful if you got a shot to the northern end where you could see more of what we're talking about. Where does the Withlacoochee fit into this? Aren't we going to capture some water off the Withlacoochee as a result of this?
Ultimately, where we're at right now is we're at the controlling point between the Floral City pools and the Inverness pools. This is one of the two main conveyance ways to get water from Floral City, which ultimately comes into Floral City from the Withlacoochee River. It's one of the two conveyance ways that allow water to flow into the Inverness pool and then subsequently into the Hernando pool. So this conveyance way here is a very essential part of the health and the ability to move water through this whole system. We think that, you know, with coming in and doing this type of project, an almost immediate project, it provides us some leadway and will help promote some of those activities that will ultimately be reviewed by the Corps of Engineers to look at the overall system, the conveyance ways, and the ultimate way to manage this whole Apopka system so that we receive the ultimate benefit from it, and the system also receives the ultimate protection. So I think this is a key step here that we can get done on a short-term basis. It's going to provide us some long-term benefit, and it's not going to have any adverse, there's no real opportunity out there for any adverse impacts.
Now, Mark, how about the fact that the Hernando pool is the last to get water? Is this going to help that in any way? I mean, it
yes.
won't. It'll still be the last to get water, but will it come in sooner?
Yes, I believe by removing the impediments and allowing more flow of water to come into the system. Remember, the way that this system works is from south to north. Water comes in from the Withlacoochee River, fills the Floral City pool before water is able to push through this area and Sandpiper. Once Inverness fills up, water is able to then push continuing north and fill Hernando pool. So by moving more water, you know, opening a conveyance canal and recreational canal is going to allow Inverness to fill up faster and ultimately get to Hernando. So I think it's a win-win for all. It's, again, you know, able to move as much water as fast as you can during the opportunity that the Withlacoochee River is only up normally for very short periods of time before it falls. So that's one of the important things, is you have to take the best opportunity you can in a very short window to get as much water into the system as you can, and then as the river goes down, hold as much water into the pool. So I do think this will help the entire system.
And as Sam mentioned earlier, the fishing aspects, this will enable the fish to move from pool to pool too. And I think that's an important part. We have a lot of fishermen that have kind of been jonesing for the opportunity to get out here and enjoy this system. And we've recently dropped about 100,000 fingerlings into this system. And so I think that the recreational opportunities are something that we can't stress enough, in addition to the environmental impacts. So I'm excited about it, and I'm happy to be associated with these guys, because I think this is one of many things that you're going to see over the next few years.
Speaking of one of many things, one of the intents of the Wysong-Kugler water control structure was to capture water when water is available and back it into the lake system. Well, again, this is another example. By opening up this conveyance, it will capture water when water is there and spread it through the system much faster than it would have been if it had been left like it is right now. So that, again, will be another benefit to the area. And we really want to capture as much water and hold as much water as long as we can for the health of the system.
And let me just add one thing to what he's saying too, and I think that a lot of people don't realize, you know, they see the open pools, or they live along the open pools, and they think of some of the open pool areas closing in, and I think that's important as well. But these marshes and these systems are the kidneys for these lake systems. I mean, it's important to, you know, move water across some of these marshes, allow it to oxidize and get better quality water coming through. So I think that really opening up this channel, allowing that water to move across the marsh, move across some of the vegetation and out into these marsh system, again, as a kidney for these lakes, we should have better water quality on the other end, and by improving this conveyance canal. So I think that's important as well.
The Apopka system is a series of natural water bodies, marshes, sloughs, and flowways that has been altered over a long period of time. Some of the major alterations occurred as early as the late 1800s. And here at Moccasin Slough, this is one of the areas where there was somewhat of a natural conveyance way that probably, although there's not real good documentation on this specific one, probably was altered to some extent a long time ago. As you can see from the vegetation here, alterations that occurred here probably occurred a long time ago when there was not real good documentation of what existed prior to this deep slough that we have here today. So a lot of the more recent alterations, the digging of some of the major canals and things are well documented, and you know, but a lot of the information that we have here on the Apopka pool is somewhat anecdotal. There's a lot of discussion about an old fish camp that used to exist right here, and they used to be able to navigate out into the open bodies of water from this point, and of course that doesn't occur now. But there's been a lot of changes to the system, some good and some have had some negative impacts. But you know, what we're doing with the core program again is looking at the overall system, taking that holistic approach, and you know, that's a long-term method to address and to help bring in federal assistance to look at this great resource that we have here. And it's important that as we're working through that program, when we see opportunities like this Moccasin Slough project, that we're able to take advantage of those situations. And I think the way we're able to take advantage of those situations is through the partnerships that we've developed over the years with you know, both the basin boards and the district governing board and local governments. The county commission certainly has been a major player in partnerships here in Citrus County, and the other agencies as well.
Okay. Well, thank you for joining us today to see this magnificent project, the restoration of the Moccasin Slough Conveyance Canal. As you can see from these pictures and from the enthusiasm from those involved in this project, we are very lucky to live in this little slice of heaven we call Citrus County. We hope to bring you some more shows in the future of some of the other projects that we'll be looking at and some of the projects that the Corps will be studying. And till next time, thank you for tuning in.